Hi there, this presentation is going to be geared towards helping you craft your resume. This presentation is brought to you by the Career Center at the University of Maine. We're located on the third floor of the Memorial Union. You can reach us by phone and of course have a lot of resources on our website, the URL listed here. To begin, just want to share with you some general Career Center services that you should be aware of. Firstly, I encourage you to register with the Career Center by using CareerLink. This is the online job posting database that we utilize where we post part-time, full-time jobs as well as internships. Your login information will be your appmaine.edu email address, and you can always choose forgot password so that we can set up that account for you. We also offer career counseling and job search advising, as well as resume, cover letter critiques, mock interviews, interview coaching, and also talking about special situations like interviewing over the phone or through video conferencing. So ultimately, we're here to talk about resumes. And what is a resume? It's a self-marketing tool. It's designed to get you a job interview. And most importantly, it's targeted in that it selects and interprets your past experiences as they relate to your career objectives. It's important to preface all of this with what employers are looking for. So over and over again, surveys demonstrate that employers are looking for employees that have strong communication skills, have past work experience, demonstrate motivation, that they're innovative and creative, that they can work in a team as well as independently. Maybe they've demonstrated some leadership abilities in the past. Academic credentials are also important, whether it be the degree that you're seeking so that it makes you qualified for that position, your grade point average or your academic success in that degree program. Employers are also looking, of course, for technical skill, interpersonal skills, analytical skills, and ethics overall. And one way you can demonstrate this is by talking about your holistic experience. So we'll go through the different categories in a resume, but it's important not to discredit some of your past work experience, even if you feel like it's not relevant to what you're using your resume for at that current time. It's important to recognize that these are transferable skills that you've gained throughout all of your experiences, and you're going to want an employer to be aware of those. They say that employers can train you to do the job, but they can't train you to be an excellent employee necessarily. Some general quick tips about resumes. You want to sell yourself. You want to brag a little bit. You want to use active language by creating action statements, and we'll talk about that. You want to be consistent. Consistent in your formatting is what this is referring to. This is a professional document or writing sample, and so consistency is going to show your attention to detail. All of the information you present within your categories or your sections is going to be in reverse chronological order. It goes without saying, but always check for grammar and spelling. Make sure that it's neat and visually appealing. And think about presenting your information, your highlights to the employer for most important to least important, from top to bottom of the resume. When we break down the contents of a resume, the anatomy looks something like this. At the top, we have your basic information. This includes your name, your current address, or if it's a campus address versus a home address, think about that address that connects you to the community that you're applying to, if relevant. Include a phone number where somebody can actually reach you. If you have a voice mailbox, make sure it's set up with an appropriate greeting, as well as an email address that's appropriate and one that you check regularly so that you could respond to if contacted. The next section could be an objective statement. You could take it or leave it. An objective statement on a resume is your choice. Typically, this is going to be a statement specific to what you're applying for. So this could be looking to obtain a position of this position at this organization, and really spelling it out so that you're demonstrating what the rest of your resume is going to be about. A summary of qualifications might just be overall who you are and what you're seeking. Continuing on, education, we say, should be close to the top because it might be where most of your experience comes from and what most qualifies you for the position you're applying for. This includes listing out the institution's name, including the city and state it's located, as well as listing out the degree you would be seeking, or that you are seeking, as noted on your diploma that you would be receiving once it's conferred, which would identify your major. You'd also include any minors you have or concentrations. And then it's important, instead of putting a date span, rather your date of expected graduation, and using those words. So expected graduation May 2018, for instance. Now, the rest of the sections really are dependent upon what your experiences are. Typically, work experience would come next. This would include whether it be relevant work experience, internships in your field, as well as other types of jobs that you've had. You want to be consistent in identifying your job title, the name of the employer, their city and state that they were located in, the period of time that you worked there, maybe you would include a month and a year to a month and a year, or if you're still doing it, it would be to present. Think about the skills that you utilized, and we'll talk about writing content in a minute, and what are some major accomplishments that set you apart from other employees in that setting. Another potential section could be your honors. So whether they be honors, recognitions, or awards within your college or program, any scholarships, and of course, if you made the dean's list, you could include that. Other categories include activities, the clubs, organizations, and teams that you're involved in. If you're involved in things outside of the campus community, what is your community involvement? Any special skills you have. If you're in a very technical field, potentially you have experiences with different softwares and hardwares. If you speak different languages, you want to include all of these things. Trainings and certifications might also be a category you choose to include. Overall, again, like I said, it's whatever fits you and your experiences. Some optional categories are listed here, and so you just want to think about who you are and how you're going to portray that on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. When we talk about writing content for resumes, describing the jobs that you have previously done, we don't want a job description per se, but rather these action statements that identify a skill that you either executed or a skill that you continue to develop through a job, and what specifically you were doing. These are some different examples of action verbs based on skill category. So for instance, here is research skills and technical skills, management and communication, administrative and helping skills, and teaching and creative skills. So for an example, an action statement on an education major's resume might be something like designed, integrated, and evaluated a unit on Mexico, language, and culture. Another example on the similar resume might be attended parent and garden club meetings. Potentially another bullet point could be integrated a unit on weather into all parts of the curriculum. All of these statements start with that action verb and go ahead and describe something specific that individual did. To wrap up, overall, a convincing resume, we say, has these 4 C's. It's complete, it's concise, it's consistent, and it's correct. I can't stress enough to proofread carefully and to proofread again. A simple error really can cause your resume to be recycled and not make it on to the next step. Something new that we're seeing here in the 21st century are these things called applicant tracking systems. So applicant tracking systems are a software that an employer utilizes to help go through a high volume of applications for certain jobs. This saves them time and it increases their efficiency. However, that means that your resume, your cover letter, and your application materials might not make it to the desk of a recruiter or a hiring manager until it has gone through a computer or an applicant tracking system. Some important takeaways here are to comb the job description and to really know your industry keywords. You're going to want to make sure that the language you're using in your application documents is very similar to those that are being used in the job description and within that organization or industry. Make sure that you call your work experience section on your resume literally work experience, because that's going to transfer over well. Put dates last, so from left margin to right margin on your resume, make sure your dates are over in the right margin. Don't include any tables or graphics. This can complicate the applicant tracking system's analysis of your materials. And ultimately, read and follow the directions carefully on how to apply. And know which file formats are supported. Make sure you understand what the requirements are when applying and that you're adhering to those. You don't want your materials to slip through the cracks when you're highly qualified because you were not compliant with the directions or how to apply through an applicant tracking system. That's a brief overview of how to write a resume. Of course, the best way that we can help you in the Career Center is to meet with you one-on-one for a resume critique or to look over your other materials. If you have additional questions or any assistance with your job search process, don't hesitate to contact us. Again, we're located in the Memorial Union on the 3rd floor. We're reachable by phone or email. Our hours are Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30 during the academic year, and we're open breaks as well as over summer. Be sure to check out our website for up-to-the-date hours and information, tips. We have a blog. Otherwise, good luck writing your resume and know that we're always here if you need us.